My name is Jordan with Opal Business Solutions, and today we're going to go over the GL function inside of Jet Reports. Once Jet Reports is installed, there will be an additional tab inside of Excel. Before you can use any of the Jet functions, you will need to set up your data source connection. To access the GL function, you can choose the GL icon in the toolbar. This will pop open the GL function window. There are a few different values in this window. The first one is the where. And that is simply where do you want to put the information on your spreadsheet. You can insert it into a cell, rows, columns, or sheets. The second value is the what, and that is the information that you would like to pull back from your database, which for the GL function is the balance of the account or multiple accounts, the budget for an account or multiple accounts, the account name for the account category. All of the other values are used as filters when building your report or pulling back information from your database. To demonstrate the GL function, we're going to build a report that shows all of our accounts, the account names, the balance, the budgets, and the variance between the balance and the budget for each account. To start, we're going to input the headers for each column. The account name, the balance for the account, the budget for each account, the variance between the two. In the first row, in column A, in Jet Reports are used for keywords to hide, fit, or many other options. We're going to use the fit keyword to fit each one of our columns appropriately. When the report generates, it'll read the largest value in that column and fit it. Now that we have our headers, we can start to map out our report. Using the GL function, we can map out a list of all of our accounts. To do that, we're going to choose the rows in the where value. And in the what value, we're going to choose the accounts. Now you can notice that this only listed one account, and that is because we're in design mode. When you switch to report mode, this will generate a list of all of the accounts. You can notice that the columns were fitted appropriately due to the keyword that we put in row 1. If we switch back to design mode, we can finish mapping out the rest of the report. We use the GL function to map out the account name. To do so, we'll insert the account name into the cell since we already have a row of all of our accounts. So we'll choose the cell for the where and the account name for the what. For the account, we want to link it to the account that we have already mapped out in row F. To do so, you would just simply click the cell of the account in row F. And that will generate the F7 in your account. You can see the actual account number off to the right. Once we hit OK, it'll generate the account name for that specific account. And we can switch to report mode so you can see a list of all the accounts with their account names. Now that we have our account names, we can finish mapping out the balance and the budget columns. To do so, we will click on the GL icon again. For the where value, we will choose the cell. And for the what value, we will choose the balance. We will link up the account to the account in column F, just like we did for the account name. We will do the same thing for the budget column. The where will be the cell. The what will be the budget instead of the balance. And we will link up to the account in column F. Now you can use simple Excel equations into your reports that you're building with Jet. To do so, we will use this in the variance column. As well as simple formulas, you can also modify the report like you would with any Excel document. We can do that with our headers. We can simply add a little shade to the background, make them bold, underline them, and center them to make them more like a report. You can also format 3 columns so they're currencies instead of numbers. And when we generate our report, switch back to the Jet tab and switch to report mode. It'll generate a list of all your accounts with the balance, budget, and the variance between the two. Now that we have the report built, we can add a date parameter. To do so, you will need to switch back to design mode and go inside of the GL window for the balance and the budget. Inside the GL window, there is a value for start period and end period, where you can input a date range, or you can link those 2 values to a cell in your spreadsheet. For this purpose, we will link them to a cell. Once we have the dates on our spreadsheet, we can go back into the GL function and link the start date to the cell with the start date in your header. Once you link the cell, you can see the date off to the right. We'll do the same thing with the end period. And you can see the date off to the right as well. Now that the columns A and I have a date parameter, you can see that the balances have changed. If you want to update these for a different period rather than a whole year, you can just simply update the date in the cell for the end period, which will update the balance and the budget appropriately. Now, since we're in design mode, this is updating the first row of our report, but if we put the date parameters back in and switch to report mode, it will update the balances for the entire report. Use the keyword hide to hide the date, the start date, and end date from the report once it is generated if you do not wish to see it. Simply putting the word hide in column A will hide the rows that you specify. So if we switch back to report mode, you no longer see the start or end date on the report once it is generated. That's how you build a basic report using the GL function in Jet Reports.